Talking North Pocono baseball here on the John Mendola Show at Arcaro and Genell. We're at the Bosley courts outside. Beautiful night. Michael Kowalski with us. And let's talk about this team. You guys able to put it together and win a district championship this year.
Yes. Great group of guys, top to bottom. Good leadership core with the older guys. Good young kids stepping up. We actually have 2 or 3 freshmen, solid contributors throughout the entire year. Really excited what's left to come the rest of the state playoffs.
Let's talk about Coach Jardine and the rest of the coaching staff, Coach Tempesta, and you get to throw in a young coach and Billy Nelson. You guys have every dynamic you could ask for, a guy who's been through the program, a guy who's seen it all, and a coach that's kind of a player's coach as well.
Absolutely. Yeah, we have 2 young guys. You mentioned Billy Nelson and Coach Chris Catano as well. Definitely bringing a different element, being more relatable with the players. Not that the older guys, and I don't want to say Coach Jardine or Coach Tempesta, the older guys, but you understand what I'm saying. But definitely they do everything for us. Yeah, Coach Tempesta and Coach Catano were out scouting yesterday, drove several hours away scouting teams, and definitely just giving us any competitive edge we can have.
Let's talk about the field stuff for you guys, what that's been like going out and competing. And at North Pocono, it was really, really, really tough to get out on that field this year.
Right.
But eventually you guys got out and put your best foot forward, and things really worked out.
Absolutely. Yeah, the whole year we've tried to stay away from the weather excuse, but it's a real problem. I haven't been able to get on the field as much as some of the other teams. If you look early in our schedule, we had a hiccup the first game of the year. It was actually the first time we were on a field at all, any grass whatsoever, against Northampton. But we've grown since then. Finally being able to get on a field, practicing consistently, definitely helping us, and just, again, giving us that competitive edge now that we're able to get our feet on the ground, quite literally, and get things running.
For you guys, let's talk about some of that competition you faced in the Lackawanna League that prepared you for the district championship game, and now as you guys will head into states, but a pretty good grind through the Lackawanna League.
Absolutely. You see team playing tonight, Valley View, definitely a good team. Every year in, year out, there's always great teams in the Lackawanna League, and even going beyond that with our administrator, our Coach Chesko, our AD, and Coach Jardine, making sure we schedule good opponents out of conference as well, preparing us against a really good team, Crestwood, and definitely we were fortunate enough to come on the winning end.
For you, you've made a decision on that next step. Last time we talked, I don't think we were at that point, but
yes.
Let's talk about where your future is going to be and what you're going to do.
Yeah, actually going to be attending Villanova University to study finance and business analytics. Very excited for that in the fall, but for right now, sole focus is baseball. Still got a couple weeks left, hopefully, and a couple games left, hopefully.
As far as your role this year, talk about the things you've done in your career and what you tried to do this year as a true leader.
Yeah. This year was a little different. I've always considered myself a utility player, but actually has come to fruition where I've been playing multiple positions. Actually, in the district championship game, I played 2 different positions. So just adding that and doing whatever I can has been a big sticking point for me this year. And like you said, with the leadership, we've got a great group of seniors, and all 6 of us, 5 that play and 1 that's injured, done a great job just getting this group of guys together.
It's been a pleasure to cover you over the years. We've had a pretty good relationship. I wish you the best at Villanova University.
You too.
Corey Walsh with us from North Pocono, continuing the conversation with the Trojans. And what's it feel like to be a district champion?
Feels great. I mean, second time in 3 years. It's definitely a bounce to let us keep going in the state tournament.
Let's talk about the competition. You guys played a lot in the Lackawanna League. You take on Crestwood in the championship game. So what did it mean?
It meant a lot considering they knocked us out last year in the first round, and beating them 4-2 definitely made us feel great.
For you, your role, whether it's pitcher or wherever you're playing, talk about what you have and what you contribute to this team.
Right. Most games I start, but in games where Ryan or Nate come in to start, I usually come out of the bullpen to finish it out.
How about that pitching arsenal you have?
Yeah.
Fastball, curveball, and again, you don't want to give away too many trade secrets, but you feel like you have enough in your realm to get the job done?
Yeah, definitely. I usually rely on my fastball, and then I can drop in a curveball or a cutter here and there. If they're hitting me, then I'll drop one in.
It's a nice sized team. I mean, you look at those guys over there. There's some big bodies. Talk about physically what you guys are all about at North Pocono.
Yeah, we definitely have some big kids, and I mean, credit to Mr. Jardine, Coach Jardine, for having us come in at 6 a.m. every day and get in the gym. That definitely helps with that.
For you, let's talk about what you're excited about when the state playoffs come here, because it's a one and done, but it could be one and move on and then see what happens and then maybe move a little closer.
What I think our advantage is going to be is we have 3 aces, and the games being so close together. When, say, I pitch a Monday game, then we just have Nate or Ryan come in that Thursday game, and then Monday we'll have me back, and so there's really no loss in pitching. That's definitely going to be an advantage.
It's great to hear. You guys have had a tremendous year. For you, your relationship with the coaches, what's that been like?
Right. Well, it's my 4th year on varsity, and I've became really close with Coach Jardine and Coach Tempesta. And Coach Nelson and Coach Gaetano came this year, and it's just a great relationship.
Next step for you?
I'm attending Fordham to play some baseball in college.
What are you going to study there?
Computer science.
Awesome. Well, good luck at Fordham, Corey, and great to hear your story again.
Thank you.
Brian Jardine with us from North Pocono. Coach, it's been a great run. Still more to go, but let's talk about the run to win a district championship. That's a challenge in itself. You guys were able to do it.
Definitely. A ton of credit to Coach Calady and Crestwood. I mean, they were a very worthy opponent. They came out and they played. He does a great job with that program. So it means all the more to win a district title, knowing who you beat sometimes. And in all 3 of our titles, we came across pretty good teams, and Crestwood no exception there this year, and Wallen-Paulpack obviously in the semifinals. Coach Schmalzy, again, former college roommate and teammate of mine. He has his kids prepared. So 2 good wins to get us there, and now, as you mentioned, more to go. So now we're just looking to see what we can do to improve and get ready for Wissahickon next Monday, and see what happens.
You never know what's going to happen in the state playoffs, and you say the name Wissahickon and you're thinking, yeah, that's a pretty big school usually, and sometimes you get into these playoffs where one team has 400 or 500 more guys in 5A that you guys are in, but nonetheless you got to go out and play, and the best team will win, and you only have 9 out there on the field just like they have their guys, but you feel pretty good about your 9.
Yeah, I do. And as you mentioned with tournament baseball like this, it's the best team that day sometimes. It's not always going to be the overall best team. It's sometimes best team that day, and you run across, as a 5A school, we're on the very low end. So a lot of our other sports like football, they're in the 4A classification. That tells you how close we are to being 5A. So you come across some of these bigger teams, and it could be tough at times, but like you said, it's 9 at a time. The game hasn't changed from when we were playing Little League. It's really cliche, but you throw strikes, you catch the ball, you hit the ball in clutch situations, and you can be okay. And that's some of what happened the other night. We utilized a limited offensive surge, but we got it at the right times, and it truly helped. And like you said, the 9 I'm running out there, 10 actually, it extends all the way. All 20 of my kids, the work they put in and what they do day in and day out for us, starting even before the season with preseason stuff, it has really set these guys apart and put them in a great position to be where they're at, so that we have an opportunity to see what happens now in the state playoffs.
You guys got some horses. I mean, literally, there's some big dudes over there that are some big young men that could bring it, and that becomes the difference, and that has been the difference.
Yeah, and that's sort of how we play it. We're gonna do what we can, and we're gonna fall back on our pitching. And that's how we're gonna play games. We're not gonna take extra. We're not gonna be as aggressive maybe on the bases, because we're comfortable in that 2-1 game, 1-0 game, knowing who we're running out there in spots. So we sort of play to that. With what we do with everything from our bunt coverages to how we run different things, and we know that's our strength, and that's how we play to it. And there's some arms over there. I mean, I have some kids. You're looking at Tony Donato. He's going to Bloomsbury throw. He hasn't had a ton of innings because it's tough to tell Corey Wall after 70 pitches in the 7th inning, I'm going to take you out. I mean, that's how dominant some of these kids have been, and even aside from Tony. A lot of younger guys, Pete Gutowski, DeMarco Maglio, Jake Millen, and I'm sure I'm forgetting 1 or 2, have some bright futures ahead of them where they're young kids, and normally they'd see a lot of innings. It's just that Nate, Ryan, and Corey, and even Tony, when they had their opportunities, really made the most of it and really helped lift us to where we're at. And defensively we do the job as well, which that's the whole key to our team right now, getting that done and getting those clutch hits and putting us where we're at.
We're all blessed in so many ways. You'd be the first guy to say you're blessed with Gino Tempesta, and you're blessed with two young coaches that know the program, very enthusiastic, very relatable to these young guys. And you got to throw in yourself in that mix of you got a little bit. You're a player's coach. I mean, you're good to these guys, but man, they know they're going to work their tail off with you.
Yeah, I'm very fortunate to have Gino. Gino's 50 years into it this year, 50 years in the coaching, and sometimes I sit home and I'm thinking about 50 years. Boy, I hope I make 50. And here's the guy doing it for 50 years. And I told the kids earlier in this year, he's going to forget more on the walk to the bus after a game than most guys know. So to have him around is just a treat for these kids to be around a baseball mind like that. And then, as you mentioned, lucky enough to bring Billy Nelson in after he left Keystone. I know Coach Shepsh, a close friend of mine, he wanted Billy to go back there. And Billy, said, I think I'm just going to stay local here and see if I can help out, and then all of a sudden Chris Gaetano comes around as well. So as you said, the nice thing there, they're 23 years old, and some of the terminology and stuff that might elude Gino and I, they can make that happen. They start talking about video game stuff. I'm looking at them like I have a wife and 3 kids. I don't have time to play video games, but those kids can relate and talk about things, and they're very, very knowledgeable as well. They've played in a lot of places, a lot of good places under good coaches, present company included, and they really, really soaked up the game, and they're more than happy to impart, and they're workers. Those kids are workers. They're not afraid, and even aside from that, building up with Coach Duchanowski at the junior high level and Coach Bowers at the JV level, they do a great job too, running the program and telling those younger kids, hey, here's how it's going to be as you move up. So really proud of my staff. I'm privileged to be around those guys and see the work they put in, and it's a big effort. It's never one kid or one coach that puts you in a position that we're in. It's everybody, and that starts with at home, like I said, wife and kids, like they're a big part of this. They're a big part of allowing me to do this. So it's an overall effort, and those that coaching staff I've compiled is pretty good place to start.
Well, Brian, congratulations. We wish you the best next week against Wissahickon, and keep it going, man.
All right, thank you. Appreciate it, John.
Ben Cruciani is with us here at Arcaro and Genell, the pizza capital of the world. We're talking with Pocono baseball. And Ben, first up, you're a senior. You already have plans on what you're doing next, and Penn State University is going to be your landing spot.
Correct. That's it's going to be a fun time. I'm going down with some of my buddies, but I'm looking forward to it. I'm starting early in the summer, but it's going to be a good time.
Let's talk about your major. What did you decide to hone in on?
Like Corey Wall, I'm going down the computer science path. So me and him, we share a common interest in that. I got interested in that, just taking some electives in high school and stuff like that. But I figured that was the easiest major that I saw fit for me, in my opinion. Yeah.
Some big dudes on this team.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
And let's talk about a few of them that are kind of like they got a presence about them, and when they go out, it's not just a presence, they perform. Take us through some of those big bodies.
Well, obviously you have Nate and Corey, the 2 big kids. Both of them throw amazing. They're our best pitchers for sure. A little bit about them. Every time they go out and take the mound, we know we have a really good shot at winning the ball game. It's just the way they threw, the way they performed all year long. We complete confidence in them. So can't wait to see what they do in the future, wherever they go to college, and that's it. That's it.
Let's talk about your role. What does Coach expect you to do game in and game out?
For me, I think it's I try to do as best as I can at the plate. I try to grind out at bats. I try to really work the pitcher. You know what I mean? Sometimes, especially during this season, I made a lot of contact. I haven't really got as many hits as I'd like to show for it, but my strikeouts are pretty low. I'm still making contact, putting together good at-bats. And another thing is I think I play pretty good first base. I try to, whatever I'm not able to accomplish at the batter's box, I try to make up for it in the field.
This team this year is a special group. Talk about the senior leadership and what these guys have been through. Some of them have done this for 4 years now.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. This group, I think, is really special because we've actually, this entire group has been here twice. Some of us haven't played the last time we won the district championship back in 2016, but we've all been here before. So I think we learned what to expect the last time we were out there competing at the state level. And I think we're able to build off of that and really help out the younger guys and show them what to do, so maybe they could repeat at some point during their high school career.
Mature group. You guys all speak well, come from some good families. Talk
Right.
a little bit about what it's like carrying on conversations. It's not just goofball stuff. There's some good conversations.
Oh, absolutely. I think we're a very serious group. I think come game time, we're completely focused. You know, we have one goal, and that's to win the game no matter what. There's no messing around. We just go at the other team. You know what I mean? We focus, and we take it to them.
Coach Tempesta probably has a way about him, the way he carries himself. Probably a little different than Coach Jardine. What do you learn from the generation of coaches with Tempesta's here, Jardine's in the middle, then you got those young guys?
Right. Well, you get a whole bunch of different perspectives, which is amazing. You know, Coach Tempesta's been around the game for, I think it's 40, 50 years or something like that, which is just crazy, the amount of experience he has. So you learn about a certain aspect of the game through him, you know, how it was played before he has the experience. And then you have guys like Billy Nelson and Coach Gaetano, who just came out of college playing baseball, and now they have all these different perspectives along with Coach Jardine that you could kind of just gather all of them together and then make your judgment based off of all that.
Ben, great to hear your story. We wish you the best at Penn State, Maine, and keep it going with baseball.
Thank you very much.
All right, we're with Dan Walsh joining us here from North Pocono Baseball on the John Mendola Show at Arcaro. Genell here, the beautiful Bocce courts outside. It's a gorgeous night. Dan, you're a junior, so tell us about your role on the team. What's Coach expect of you?
He expects me to get on base. I let off during the beginning of the season, but I kind of went into a little bit of slump. So he put me up. Put Jake Millen in front of me because he was hitting the ball. He put me second so I could hit him over, get on. I have pretty good speed, so he wants me to get on steal most of the time. And usually, if I'm on second, base hits score me. So he likes me to get on base.
Take us through that outfield for us. Who plays where and what everybody's skill set is.
We got Jake Millen in center field. He's a freshman. He really stepped up. We didn't really think he was going to come in and do what he's doing right now.
Tough for a freshman.
Oh yeah, real tough. He's been doing good. And then left field, it varies. We have my little brother, actually, Zach Walsh. He starts out there sometimes. We have Tony Donato and Shane Lamparter. They're all really great outfielders. Jake, for a young kid, he's got a really strong arm, actually. Some of the throws he has, it surprises me. And left field, they're all good fielders. Shane, he was pretty, he didn't think he was going to play this year. He didn't know, and then he came out. He's got a good arm, too. He pitches, but he hasn't really pitched this year. And then my little brother, for a freshman, too, he pinch runs a lot. I feel like it's tough, too, because I did it when I was a freshman. But he stepped up a lot, coming in clutch situations, too. So
You over there in right field, would you say you're a rangy player, average arm? What are some things that you think you bring?
I could cover a lot of the field. Like the one game, Millen was having tough reading the ball, like the sun. So he let me know some plays. I was running over to center field, catching the balls for him. And I guess I have a pretty decent arm. Not as strong as my brother, though. He's at Monmouth right now. He's throwing high 90s. I'm not that high yet, but I hope I could.
How about this team overall? Talk about the leadership, what these seniors have meant to guys like yourself, and of course, influencing some of these younger players, like you're saying. Some of these freshmen are learning pretty quickly too.
Yeah, leadership's real well. They're always getting on us, trying to get us to the morning workouts we have at 6 a.m. before school. Always just pushing us around and. They always get us motivated, hyped before games and stuff, and it's pretty good leadership.
Leadership of the coaching staff, we've been hitting that all evening long here. You have some great coaches. You're so fortunate there. Nonetheless, you guys got to go out and perform. Talk about buying what they're selling, and a lot of that buying starts at 6 in the morning.
Oh yeah, it does. He's always been telling us we want to keep going until they have no more games for us. Ever since the beginning of this for district playoffs, they knew we're a good team. We got the chemistry. We have the kids. They knew same thing as 2 years ago when we went to the state playoffs. They think we have pretty much a similar team. We can go farther than the state semifinals where we lost last year. So.
Well, it's great to hear your story. We wish you the best. Good luck with you and your brother in your baseball career.
Thank you.
Kyle Bosley's with us from North Pocono here on the John Mendola Show. He's a sophomore. And Kyle, let's talk about your role as a DH on the team. You must do a pretty good job at the plate.
Oh yeah, I just try to do my job every time I get up to bat, whether it be hitting a guy in or moving a runner over. do whatever the team needs me to do.
Talk about some of the power you guys have on this team. Are there some guys that can hit the long ball, and are you one of those guys, or your guy just kind of gets guys across the plate any way you can?
Well, Nate McClain and Corey Wall are mainly the guys that hit the long ball. I'm more of a contact hitter, just like to get base hits and drive the runners in.
How much fun are you having with this group of players?
A tremendous amount of fun. I've never had more fun as a player, and it's been an overall great year.
Talk about the coaching, these guys coaching you up, and you probably got a lot of work in the cage this year because getting outside was ridiculous.
Yeah.
So talk a little bit about things in the off season you tried to concentrate on, or in the preseason for that matter.
Well, in preseason I worked with Greg Legg, changed a couple of things in my swing, and really liked the results. But we've been really limited to the cage a lot this year because of the weather conditions. Yeah, it's been a great year with swinging the bat and swinging mechanics.
You guys have had one more run than other teams, or 5 more runs than other teams, but knowing that you got some horses on that mound, talk about the confidence you guys have with all that pitching.
Oh yeah, we have a lot of confidence in our pitching. We've been able to shut teams out all season long, and we've really relied on our pitching a lot.
All right, well, congratulations on a great year, and we wish you the best.
Thank you.